Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here to this channel, thank you very much for taking your time to take a look at my videos. Here I talk about everything luxury, including skincare, beauty products, makeup, fashion items, but more in a mindful and slow consumption way. So whilst I do love doing unboxing videos, I also take the time to actually enjoy and use those items that I've purchased. And I would always purchase with the mindset of me keeping the item for as long as I possibly could, using them until they can no longer be used effectively. So if this is something that is consistent with your mindset as well, please take a look at my videos, thumb up the videos that you enjoy, and subscribe to my channel. If you are a return viewer, I'm very grateful that you continue to take a look at my new videos. Today, I'm going to sort of do a bit of an update review of my Celine Triomphe Classic that I purchased roughly 2 years or a little bit more or less. This is actually my first bigger item luxury purchase that started my whole interest in luxury fashion and these luxury brands, the items that they produce. So yeah, it has a special meaning for me. And also it just, I guess, demonstrates at that point in time when I don't know anything much about luxury brand, the type of style that I've kind of chosen. Instead of, if I was to purchase another crossbody bag currently, I may have chosen a bit of a different style. But don't get me wrong, I still love this bag. Um, but I do find that currently, and I am thinking that the logo, the monogram, the logo sort of, on the canvas, repetitive, is, I guess, a bit memorable. And so it can get a bit repetitive if I use it too often, that I just kind of feel like maybe I want to swap, into something different. But I'm still loving it and using it quite a fair bit. And I do find the other thing that I would have done differently or chosen differently if it was me now buying a crossbody bag, I probably would have chosen a different color. So I bought this color thinking it's a neutral, which it is. That it's going to be easy to pair up with my clothes. Before I actually did my skin tone color analysis, which the result shows that I am a true winter color palette, which for me, this brown, whilst it's not a, it's, I think it's like a mid sort of tone brown. So at least it's not like a very warm type of brown. It's just like a very classic brown color, basically. Somewhere in the middle range in terms of coolness and warmness of the color. At least it's not muted, which would have been bad. It would completely clash me with my current wardrobe scheme. And I guess, yeah, now that I kind of know a little bit more handbags, I probably would have chosen something without this, compartmentalized construction for this size of bag, just because it actually makes it less able to put more things in when it's compartmentalized, into basically three compartments. I think it's called an accordion style of bag. So they're the two things, or three things that, is it two? Yeah, three things. With the monogram, very kind of obvious monogram, which makes it easy to remember. And so as a result, if I keep on using it for consecutive days, I do kind of get a little bit bored and want to switch it to something else, and then come back to it, after a few weeks. The second being the color, and the third being that, for this size of crossbody everyday bag, I think in the future, if I was to get another crossbody handbag, I would choose one that is not of the accordion style, so that for the size, I make full use of the size, or able to make full use of the size of the handbag in terms of how much things I can put in. But having said all that, I still use this bag and I still like it. It's just that if I was to have a chance of re-picking the item, knowing what I know now, I probably would have chosen, something a little bit different. Now let's have a look at the wear and tear. So as I said, I think, I bought this a bit more than 2 years ago, and initially I did use it quite frequently. It is my go-to everyday bag, but of late I find that I gravitate towards this bag more in the winter and autumn season, and I think it's to do with the color. Whereas for the summer times, but also the weather, I think the summer times in Australia where I am, this year it has been raining really quite frequently during the warmer seasons, and not that I think this is quite water resistant. I wouldn't say it was waterproof, but it is quite resistant to water. As long as you're not pouring water over it, and you sort of wipe it down, quick enough, then you're not going to get water stains or damages. But because I can't stand getting wet walking outside, so whenever it rains or it's likely going to rain, I would bring an umbrella. And obviously I can't fit an umbrella here, which is why I find that I've not really gravitate too much to use this, or have occasions to use this, because I need a bag that can fit my umbrella. And if you haven't seen my rainy day bag, I'll link the video down below. So yeah, and also I think the color scheme, I'm gravitating it more in the autumn, winter times, when I tend to wear thicker clothing, and just like a darker color scheme. And I just find this type of color suits more when it's autumn. Now in terms of wear and tear, you can see here, there is a bit of oxidization of the hardware of the Triomphe logo, particularly on the top. And that's because when I wear it as a crossbody bag, when you open the bag, you're often sort of, using your fingers to undo the side claps here. You push that in and then you open that, lift up that buckle. And so, this has a lot more contact with your skin, the moisture and the oil and whatever else is on your fingertips when you're out and about, than the bottom. And so I think this is why it oxidizes. So I think, that's quite unavoidable unless you have hardware that is very well plated with a metal that is resistant to oxidation. So yeah, whereas this one obviously is not, and there is a bit of scratches that you can see. Yeah, but it's quite a big piece of hardware that is easy to get scratched. Apart from that, I think overall the bag has held up quite nicely. The leather strap, it does have adjustable holes here. I've not really needed to readjust the length of it, once I've adjusted to my liking. So, all the stitching, it's held up quite well on the outside. And these, I guess, are the points where it could easily have wear and tear just because it holds the weight of the bag onto the strap. There is one bit here that, I mean, you know, that part is lifted off. I think it's not glued properly down. You know, there's just too much distance between the stitching and the edge of the leather, and I think they kind of, you know, rely on glue to glue this down, but the glue is not staying very well. So it looks like I do need to give it another clean. So there's some staining there, which I think these will come off quite easily, those black spots, with leather cleaner and conditioner. So yeah, and I think because, you know, it's canvas, so it's quite hard wearing. You're not going to get scratches from your fingernails. So yeah, I think that's the benefit of having the bag in monogram canvas, is that it is quite resistant to scratches, especially when I use this bag as like an everyday errands, going for errands type of bag. Now on the inside, that's how it looks like. Now this bit is where if the leather gets constantly folded down, it's actually not too bad, you know, given that this is where the wrinkling generally will show up because that's where it gets folded the most. It's not too obvious. And, you know, when I do the leather conditioning, it tends to help to smooth that out a little bit. Just got a soap here to help with the scent of the bag. I've got an Hermes Twilly soap that was gifted to me. Still smells amazing. So I keep it in the foil and just sort of leave it in the handbag when I don't use my handbag, so that it always would just soak up the nice smell. Yeah, so these are the compartments. There's the small compartment at the back, which, you know, really you can't fit much in apart from receipts, you know, paper type of items, very thin type of items. Otherwise, you will stretch it out pretty quickly. And then the three compartments here. So you can see how this is only the middle compartment that is got a bit of a width to it that you can actually put your wallets, phone, and things in, because it also is yep. So sometimes I actually do also put my phone here, which is not going to go all the way down to the bottom of the slot because it's just not enough room, but it will just sit like with my iPhone. Is a normal iPhone, not an iPhone Pro. It, you know, when I slide it down, it will probably just, you know, go to here. So if I don't overpack the middle, I can easily fit the phone here. And because this compartment is right against your body, if you put the phone here, it actually bulges the whole bag up pretty badly. Whereas this side, I think it's just because of the construction, it's kind of more slanted. You can, for some reason, I think, even though the length is the same, yeah, for some reason, I think this one is more pliable because it's, I guess, on the outside, so you're not having it bulging against your body and feeling a bit strange to wear it crossbody. So yeah, and as long as you can clip it, you know, buckle it back down, then a bit of bulging at the, you know, at the front is okay. It's not gonna make it difficult to wear or, you know, distort the whole shape of the bag too much. But yeah, like what fits, I've already done a video previously about what fits inside. So again, I can put the link down for you to take a look at that video if you want to have a look at what fits. And then you've got a zipper compartment right in the middle here, which I have to say, I don't put much things in there because again, it's not a whole lot of space. And what I find is if you use all of the slots, you end up fitting less things in just because you're kind of, not making the full use of the middle compartment, which is the compartment with the largest capacity. You end up wasting the space here if you try to fit other things in the other compartment, which squashes the middle compartment. So that's just really, yeah, how, I guess the pros and cons of this bag. In terms of like further about wear and tear, look, the stitching, it's all holding up so far. But I do think like if you overstretch it, these stitches might pop, I suspect. And yeah, look, it's a treated leather, so it's a bit more durable. And yeah, I think so far, like all the glazings kept intact. So overall, I think this handbag, this Celine Classique Triomphe bag has held up pretty well. Especially for me, I am not too careful with my handbag. And also, I don't have a lot of handbags in my collection. I really have very minimal. I only have this one as a crossbody, everyday, a bit more kind of stylish handbag. And then I've got my, her bag, my Picatinny, my Marc Jacobs, which is, I don't consider as a luxury handbag. That's my rainy day bag. And then my work bag. That's, I think that's, I've got a little backpack from Ferragamo as well. So far, yeah, I've only got 6 handbags. And not, in terms of everyday handbag, taking away my work bag and backpack and things like that. It's really only like, 3 or 4 that I kind of use every day basis. So the amount of times that the handbags work for me, it's, I would say they have a pretty hard working life. So putting that into perspective, and that I don't baby my handbags, like, I use it and without, caring too much, enough things to think about. I don't need to worry and baby a handbag as well. So putting all that in perspective, I would say, yeah, it's quite a durable handbag. And certainly I bought it before the prices went all crazy. I mean, it was already very expensive at that point in time, but not like the prices they are today, which is a bit ridiculous. Yeah, I've no regrets, really, apart from those 3 things that I've said. They're not really regrets, but they're kind of, things that I would have done a little bit differently with the experience I have now, which I didn't have before. So, it's not really even an argument, really, because, no one can turn back time. I made the best choice, I thought, at that point in time for me. And it was a good choice. And yeah, I've still got the handbag and I'm still enjoying it, and finding use for it. And I still love it. So that's all that matters. So here's a bit of styling. So there you go. So it's a crossbody bag. Really depends on where you like it to hit. And I like this type of length so that it's not too low, but it's also not too high. I do have my pants kind of at the high waist area at the moment. So this falls right on my hip, which is where I like my crossbody, because for me, if I was to wear it as a shoulder bag, it actually works quite well. So as I walk, because I do have a bit of shoulder pain chronically, so sometimes, I like to switch it whilst I'm out. Like, if this shoulder is getting a bit too much strain, then I like to make it crossbody very quickly and vice versa. So yeah, actually for me and my body proportion, it works quite well for it to be, both a shoulder length and cross body length with one length adjustment. So yeah, like in terms of getting, once you're used to the bag, it's quite easy with one hand opening and closing maneuver, which is something I really appreciate as a everyday running around Iran type of bag. Because sometimes, I would have grocery bag on the other hand and things like that. I really don't have, it's difficult for me to use both hands to open the bag. Yeah, and if I want a bit more security, I just do it crossbody, and again, it's easy for me to open, grab what I need to grab, and then shut it. I mean, that's the other thing, like, because it keeps on hitting the metal bit. Again, there's going to be like scratches on this metal buckle. It is part of, wear and tear. And again, for me, I have absolutely no plans to resell my bag. It doesn't really matter. So yeah, I don't think for me, I don't think I can ever buy something, with the mindset that I would be able to resell it, because then, yeah, it just doesn't work. Because as I said, like, I don't want to use things with the mindset that I will need to be extremely careful so that, not each scratch is going to deduct the value of the bag when I resell it. And for me, that's just a lot of mental burden, which I'd rather not have, because for me, I like to enjoy my items, and yeah, I can't enjoy it with that type of mindset. So that's just me personally. Nothing against people who, wants to resell their products. I think that's very, very good, because, that's a sustainability, type of situation. But yeah, just for me, I tend to use the things until they break anyway. So yeah. So this is it from me today. I hope you found this video useful and enjoy this. So my word of advice when purchasing a handbag is really look at the color scheme of your wardrobe. If you haven't really find what color scheme works for your skin tone, I highly, highly suggest working that out first, because really it does saves a lot of money at the end of the day if you, and it narrows down the choices that's available. There are so many things to choose from nowadays that it can be very overwhelming. But if you know the color scheme, at least you can narrow down quite a lot. And then, yeah, the next thing to think about is really what your lifestyle is like, what the purpose of the item is going to be for. Because if I'm buying an evening bag, if I'm buying a bag to go for an evening event, I wouldn't be, looking at these type of bags at all. So I think, yeah, that's what I try to keep to all the time in terms of my shopping habits, is to really have something, a specific purpose for the item I'm going to purchase in mind first. And then I go and look for an item that fits that purpose, that fits that color scheme. And then you really do narrow things down quite a lot, and obviously fits my budget. Like, I'm not gonna get something that is completely out of my budget and borrow money for, or use my credit card and having to repay over multiple months. That's just something that I avoid personally, to keep track of my finances and not to let shopping habits consume my life. So yeah, this is it from me today. I hope you've enjoyed this video and find this helpful. Do thumb it up if you like it and subscribe to my video. That really helps me. Until next time, you all take care. Bye.